As part of the Overtake GG Dream Team series, we just had an absolutely epic 1 hour multi-class race in the Praga. It was the Praga versus the Caterham 7. If you want to see the results of that race and the coverage of that race, go and click the link in the description. It was honestly hilarious. We had some proper Ferrari F1 strats going on. Well worth watching. But following on from that, I thought you guys might like another mediocre, quite easily achievable Hotlap challenge. So I'm going to jump into the Praga in the Hotlap mode in Assetto Corsa with the track set to optimum 26 degrees with the default setup, and I'm going to set a lap time and talk about how the car handles, and you can see if you can beat my mediocre self. You should be able to. If you can't, you need to just throw all your sim racing equipment away. So of course we're at Brands Hatch, and in terms of the car setup, it's basically defaults here. I've got all the gears on default. We'll put soft tyres on. Let's put the fuel down to let's go for 12 litres of fuel. Traction controls on 1. Rear aero for the rear is on 3. Drivetrain 40, Diffco 60. You know, this is all the default setup basically. So that's it. 26 degrees for the track temperature, optimum, and there you go. You're ready to go. You're ready to try and challenge us. Now, it's worth saying, I do think this the Praga, it is quite a fun car to drive in Assetto Corsa, but out of all the vehicles in Assetto Corsa, it's definitely one of the more pokey and one of the less forgiving cars to drive. What you find is once it starts to rotate, if you don't quickly catch that rotation or that small amount of slip, it will just slide and then you can't recover it. It's most cars in Assetto are actually very, very recoverable from much wider amounts of slip, so this is way more pokey, but still, compared to other driving simulators, as long as you are aware of that side of this, it's still very drivable and really quite forgiving. And you know, that's why I quite like Assetto Corsa. I think real tyres are quite forgiving. They're just slow if you slide too much. So the crux of getting around Brands Hatch moderately quickly is obviously not doing big slides like that and just finding that limit and then just slightly holding it on the limit, especially through the faster flowing corners. The right hand is there. Now this was the warm-up lap before we do our actual lap. And Brands Hatch obviously is a very momentum based circuit. You really just have to keep things going, and that lures you into getting closer and closer to the edge of the circuit, where you're then greeted by this green, glorious, beautiful green substance known as grass, which though it's beautiful and glorious, unfortunately it doesn't have that much grip. Oh, that's another thing you need to watch out for with this car. The curbing, AC curbing affects this car quite badly, so you really need to keep off the curbs. And as you saw going into Druids there, when we got on the brake, if you brake too hard, the car will lock up and just slide. So you really have to be careful on the braking as well. I think this is actually one of the more punishing cars in Assetto Corsa, to be honest. Here we go, Hawthorne Hill. Brands Hatch is such a actually very hilly circuit, and the corners actually have quite monster camber on them. If you ever go to Brands Hatch in real life, it's really striking how hilly and cambered the circuit corners are. I think when you're painting the sims, it can feel a little bit flat. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. You just get that little bit of slide there and you hold it. It's a little bit of a correction. Move it through the slide, and it's happy days. It's happy days. I will say, despite I think this car being quite tricky, when you do actually get a nice lap with it, it's really satisfying. I'm going to give it one more go to give you guys a harder challenge here. One more lap. Oh, messed that up already. The soft tyres, I think in AC, you can get about 4 laps out of them. But we are in the hot lap mode, so I think it actually resets the tyres each lap, I believe. I believe it resets the tyres. So you have like one lap where they're not at a temp, and then second and third lap I think you get the most out of them. Look at this concentration. Can we improve? 127.7. I think actual pace with this car is going to be like 125s. Oh. So you really are going to, on those right-handers, you've got to just turn the car in on the brakes just the right amount without overdoing it. Oh. Totally in control of the car, guys. Totally in control. Nicely with AC, you can feel through the force feedback where the front tyres grip or not, so you can use that as a reference for if it's going to stick through the corner, if you can push faster. There you go, 127.4. Right. As I say, the track temperature is on 26 degrees centigrade, and that's the default setup with the fuel taken out. Can you beat our 127.4? You should be able to. It should be an easy challenge. For those of you that are experienced, you'll do it in your sleep. But for those of you that are new, it might be a moderate challenge. But yeah, hopefully you give it a go, and then you can shout abuse to me in the comment section. But definitely watch our video, the Overtake GG race, multi-class race, this and the Caterham 7, because honestly it was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. Let me know if you'd like more hot lap challenges, more mediocre hot lap challenges. Mediocre, that's what we specialise in here. But until the next one, happy tea drinking, take care, and goodbye.